Hello, everybody. This is Cleo here at Vultauras. This is going to be my beta pilot because I am getting over my personal nerves in order to present various materials that fly about through my brain often. So welcoming you to Vultauras, just to give you a little insight, Vultauras is basically, yes, I'm reading from my notes because I have a hard time otherwise. Vultauras is an eclectic sphere that explores the realm of perception, because each and every single one of us perceives various experiences, information, interactions differently. So they contain different meanings. And for me, that kind of goes back to the interpretation of it. So today, basically, the title of this beta pilot is basically Getting It Wrong is Getting It Right. That was presented to me by a very wise individual who seriously pushed me into beginning this, which has been, I'm a self-sabotager with a lot of things, putting myself out there. And as you can tell, I am not going back and clipping and editing this. This is what you get on your beta pilot right now. So basically, getting it wrong is getting it right. And it makes a lot of sense intellectually. At the same time, it's really difficult for me. I like to plan, I like to write things out. I'm a Virgo moon, can't help it, it's in there. But basically, today we're gonna be diving down the proverbial rabbit hole with the concept of getting it wrong is getting it right. And it actually kind of took me back to the Zuni Indians in the Southwest here in the United States. I was brought up believing that their inlaid jewelry work generally always had an imperfection, a flaw in it, because the concept was that only the holy ones can really create perfection, not just us mere mortals. And then as I looked more into it, Navajo and Persian rugs, when they weave the rugs, they always put in, I can't say all of them, there's certain sects. You know, there are, that's S-E-C-T-S, not the other one. So groups, various groups within the tribe that do this on purpose. So Navajos and Persians, they will create these woven rugs, also with these little imperfections, because they consider that the spirit door. That's where the spirit can access and come into the mundane world. You also have the Pueblo Indians and the Hopi Indians in their pottery. Quite often there's a tiny little flaw there. And then I recently discovered that the Japanese have a particular art as well, and I hope I say this correctly, but kintsugi is what it's called. And the way I kind of understood it, it's almost like upcycled art too, that many of us would do, where it's like you see something broken or partially, you know, in pieces, and then you recreate it, give it a new form, a new life with a different purpose. And so you can see the art, but you can see the imperfections, but the imperfections are a part of the beauty of that art. So reviewing this for myself kind of helps a little bit, because as imperfect, so I need to accept that. And if it comes out as such at times, well, then so be it. So here we are. It also made sense to me because everything has an equal and opposite relationship to one another. So you have something that's really perfect, really pristine. Well, yeah, you kind of need that imperfection to reflect back and balance out the perfection. You need the contrast. You need the visual understanding. And of course, this is something else. To one person's perception, that perfection may not quite cut it for them, but that imperfection has just enough interest to really get them involved in that piece, whether it be art, or a vehicle, like for example, my car years ago, huge long key mark along the side. 30 minutes, went in the store, came back out, huge long key mark. Everybody around me infuriated me. I just thought, well, okay, now we got that over with. I am not fixing it. I'll just clear coat it and leave it alone because nobody will bother it again. And guess what? Knock on wood, nobody has ever bothered it again. Of course, a lot of people say, why aren't you going to get it fixed? And I go, because now it has its imperfection that nobody else is going to want to mess with it. That was my logic. Even though visually, yes, I would like it gone, but I kind of grown to just be like, you know, it's like a wrinkle on a face. It's kind of happening. Really, this is the other portion, and yes, I keep looking back at my notes to help me out. The ultimate difference between both imperfection and perfection, right, wrong, you know, back, forth, it's really the value that's assigned to it per that individual's perception based on their history of experience, knowledge, programming. So, for instance, an expectation is a big part of that. So for me, I want to get my videos perfect. I want to get my written material perfect. It's because I assigned an expectation to the outcome already. Instead of actually enjoying the process and trusting in the process, that's a big one, trusting in the process, I have already assigned an expected outcome. And if my outcome isn't exactly the way I have it perceived in here, then I have actually already devalued it without even realizing I've done that, because now I have put up barriers for myself to sabotage myself that I'm kind of eliminating the experience, and I'm eliminating the possibility of a far better outcome than what I could have possibly perceived to begin with. So can you see how I'm gaslighting myself here? And I believe that everyone at one point or another, we all do this to each other. So that's basically my observations on that. You know, rooted in past experiences or observations creates that expectation of the outcome, which is also a form of control. I hate to admit it, but it's true. It's a form of control. So it's a predictability, it's a safety thing. And it's also an unseen entrapment. Because without having that little additional woven oops, I may not be allowing the spirit force to come through. Like a woven rug, a woven tapestry, an inlaid piece of jewelry, a piece of pottery with a little nick or a little, you know, curve in a particular incising, you know, for the design. Without having that oops, may not have had the full rich experience of, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting that, but bam, that turned out great. And I'm sure many of those artistic pieces, that's how they actually develop their actual, I guess you could say, patterns and designs. It was through a variety of oopses, getting it wrong over periods of time. And maybe one group or one individual went, I love that, I'm gonna use it again. And the person who did the oops was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that again. So it's all on perception. It all goes back there. And that is why anything that I will be discussing moving forward, it really is about exploring the realm of perception. So again, Vultauras, welcome to the birth of Vultauras, birthing pains, going through birthing pains here. And Vultauras is going to be an eclectic sphere, a platform, a realm, a soapbox, as you would say, that explores the realm, all of that, of perception. because I may not be saying something that rings true for another person. However, perception, we all have it, and it's, are we going to look at it or not? So that is the conclusion of my beta pilot, unscripted, unedited, well, not totally unscripted. I had a few notes. I'm still a little anal. So anyways, there we go. And I'm Cleo. Thank you for coming to visit me. And yeah, I'll let everybody know when the alpha pilot version comes. And this is beta version. So thank you all. Have a wonderful day. And yeah, we're just going to keep growing and working on this. Thank you. Bye.